Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message, it comes from an interview that our team had in this other village that they went. I once posted a video of this other young lady and her father. The young lady was suffering, and the father was saying that if God can raise up someone, and that person who would have been raised by God will buy a wheelchair for my daughter, I'll be the happiest man. So after we had posted that episode, there was this other brother of ours who is overseas. He then contacted us and he said that he was willing to buy that wheelchair. He sent us the money. Then we went and we bought the wheelchair. After that, the team then traveled to the village. They had a walk around the village. After they had that walk around the village, that was when they started having interviews with some people in that village. So there is this lady who said that she wanted to give us her own side of the story, even though she was not willing to go live on camera. The story reads like this. Hello, my brother, how are you? I am a woman who is aged 38 years old. This is my story. There is a person who died, and that person died. It is all because of me. What happened to me, my brother? I was a married woman. Whilst I was a married woman like that, me and my husband, we started to suffer from this disease that is very painful. This type of a disease, my brother, it is not something that you can expect once you have chosen to get married to someone. My husband stopped performing in bed. No matter how hard we tried to spice up things in the bedroom, but his manhood would refuse to work. Whenever he would sleep with me, he would only sleep with me for something like a minute or so, then he would be done. As for me, I wanted someone who was going to be willing to go for something like 30 minutes or an hour or so. In short, my brother, this man, what he was doing to me, it was not enough. Each and every time after we had made love, I would feel as if we had done nothing. I wanted more. I was hungry for sex. So each and every time when I would get angry, what I would do is that I would find a man that would really I would find a man that would be willing to satisfy all of my sexual needs. This was the type of a relationship that was now there between me and my husband. And my husband, when he would find out that I would have cheated on him simply because he knew all of his problems, he will just let me go to our place so that I can stay with my relatives. But after that, he would follow me and he would beg me and he would say, my wife, please come back home. Then I would go back and I will start staying with him. But after staying with him, that problem, my brother, whenever it will come back, I'll start cheating on him again. This was the type of a relationship that was now there between me and my husband. When my husband saw that he could not control me anymore, any man that wanted to take me to his bed, I was willing, because I was a married woman who was very hungry for sex, since my husband could not provide me with all of my sexual needs. My husband then went and visited this other traditional healer, and on my body they then placed this charm. The charm works like a locking mechanism. If I would sleep with any man, then something bad was going to happen to that man. So I was walking around not knowing that there was this other locking mechanism that had been placed on my private part by my husband. At least if my husband had told me, I would have known, and I would have stopped going around sleeping with different men. At the end of the day, there was someone who lost his life all because of me. What happened then, my brother, is that last year, it was in June, I then started working at this other place. We were making these other farm bricks. They are quite common here in Zim. What we do is that we find some ant hills, and we then start making some bricks from the soil that we would have taken from the ant hill. They are called farm bricks. So me and that man that I ended up sleeping with, we were making those bricks together. Whenever I will be working with him, whenever I would look at him, I would feel that if I can only take this man to my bed, he can be able to satisfy me with all of my sexual needs. And my brother, me being a woman who is 38 years old, this man, he was quite a very young man. He was only 28 years old, yet I could not restrain myself. I then started seducing him, and whenever I would be at work, I would make sure that I would seduce him until he could not control his body anymore. That was when I knew that I had won this young man. Me and him, we started dating each other, and on the day that we slept with each other, I noticed that this man, he was very powerful in bed, and he had satisfied me. I was really happy. I then started dating this man. We dated each other for 2 months. After 2 months, that was when this young man came to me. When he came to me, he was complaining. The first thing that he told me, he said that there was something that was on his manhood. He said that his manhood, it was decaying, it was rotting. He then said that this thing that is happening to me, I do not even understand as to why my manhood can be rotting like that. When he told me that his manhood was sort of like decaying, I immediately knew that there was something that my husband had done to me, because I had cheated on him several times. After that, when that young man had told me that his manhood was decaying, he came to me and he said that, look at my stomach, look what is happening. So when he showed me his stomach, it was like there was someone that was pumping air into his stomach. His belly kept on growing big and big and big, as if it was a balloon that someone was pumping air into it. When he saw that his tummy was growing big, he then told his relatives, and he confessed that I was the woman whom he had last slept with. And when I heard all of those rumors that he had confessed, I then refused, because I was really embarrassed. I said, look at me, how can I share a bed with such a young man? After that, my brother, I refused to confess all that was needed from my side. If I had only confessed, then this young man, he could have been still alive even today. But I refused, because I was afraid that people will judge me. So I said, no, he is lying. I can never go to bed with such a young man. When I refused to confess, that was when that man passed away, that young man. After he had died, my brother, when they had buried him, that was when my troubles started. I am now living in hell, because from the day that they buried him up until today, what happens is that each and every night, this young man, he comes to me and he visits me in the middle of the night. And when he comes to me, he does not speak with me. All that he would demand from me, he wants to sleep with me like we once did when he was still alive. This man, my brother, he comes and he does not even care if it is painful or not. All that he wants is that he just wants to sleep with me. When he started sleeping with me, I noticed that my private part, there is this discharge that is coming out. But this discharge that is coming out of my private part, it is not normal at all, because it is watery. And this watery discharge that comes out of my private part, it is very smelly, because my private part is constantly having some discharge coming out of it. It then caused some irritation, and this irritation, my brother, sometimes when I look at it, I can see that there are some small pimples, those pimples that can come out of your face, whereby they will be having a white thing inside. That thing, those pimples are the ones that are now coming out of my private parts. And these pimples, they are very painful. And whenever they pop, my brother, they will be very hot. And the thing that is troubling me is that when my husband saw that this is what is happening to me, he then started avoiding me. He no longer sleeps with me. And to him, it is like I am not a woman anymore. Please help me, because I know that what I did is very wrong. All that I want is for a prophet or even a pastor that can come and pray for me, so that these problems that I am facing can disappear. Once these problems that I am facing has disappeared, then my husband and we can have a normal life again. I will never cheat on my husband again. As for now, my husband, he has a girlfriend, and there is nothing that I can do about it. As for that young man's spirit, that demonic spirit, it is giving me a lot of sleepless nights. I cannot rest because of that demonic spirit. Whenever I feel pain, sometimes during the day, I will say, today that spirit is not going to come, so that it can sleep with me. But whenever it will be in the evening, that spirit will come without fail. No matter how painful my private part will be, the spirit will force to have intercourse with me. I have suffered, my brother. Dear listeners, right there is a story that comes from a narration of an interview that our team had when they were doing a walk around the village where they had gone to deliver that wheelchair. So today our team went and they spoke with this other village headman so that they can give us permission to do some interviews in that village.